Welcome to our program, and today we are going to talk about something really interesting, fear. Do you know that actually fear is good for our own human being health per se? Imagine if our ancestors were never afraid of anything. Imagine what will be of our lives now. We probably will be extinct. But fear, in a sense, makes sense when we need to be clear of who we are and we need to be safe to be growing, to keep growing. Now, the problem with fear is nowadays we don't have that much things that will change our way of being, that will kill us in a sense. And what happened with that is many times the fear, the only thing that does is just cage us, does not allow us to be free, does not allow us to be the things and to see things in a different way. But when we decide to confront that fear and to open the door of that fear, you realize that things just change, that now we have a different perspective of life, that now we have a different way of seeing things. Let me tell you this story. As many of you know, I have been suffering all my life of dyslexia. And what happened with that is one of my biggest fears is to speak or to read actually in front of people. Why? Because I get like whatever, I just don't read in the way how everybody else does. But the thing is, if I will allow that fear to take over me, I wouldn't be able to see the things in a different way. And let's put it in another one. There's many people who have fear of public speaking. You know, at the beginning when we started this channel, my biggest fear was that the people who will watch the videos will criticize me, will not like me. And it was interesting because if I will make my decisions based on that fear, we probably wouldn't have the videos that we have now. So the question to you is, what is that fear that is not enabled you to be the best that you can be? What is that fear that is not allowing you to flourish in the way that you are meant to flourish? And how can you fight against that fear? How can you fight against that thing that just is pulling you down? Now, what is interesting about it is when those fears become alive, actually is when you become and you start having panic attacks and you start having things that doesn't just help you to be that you can be. So today the challenge is, number one, identify what are those fears that have not allowed you to be the best that you can be. And number two, I challenge you just to face them. Because once you face those fears, everything will change. The last story that actually I remember, it was really cool. When I was a little kid, I did not like to go and turn off the lights of the different rooms in the house. Why? Because if I would turn off the lights, I would think that something will come and head me down. So I remember my mom would send me, go on, turn off the lights. And I will go turn off the lights and just run it, book it to my room. And it will be funny because I will go to my room or my parents' room and I will say, and what happened? Oh, I turn on the light. But one day I decided to stay there and just turn off the light and just be there. Be there with that fear. Be there with that sense of that something is going to happen to me. And the reality is, when I did that, I just learned that nothing happens, that everything was in my mind. So the question is, are those fears in your mind? How can you get rid of them? And the best answer to that is confront them. I hope you have a beautiful day. Thank you so much for watching us.